Welcome back to the Map for College learning community. My name is Ernest Manelli, founder of My Action Plan for College. And this video will focus on 529 educational savings plans. The 529 section of the tax code offers families the opportunity to save for qualified educational expenses for their children. Now, traditionally, 529 plans have been used as a college planning device, long range for families starting early in childhood in many cases, and then saving a certain amount each year in a dedicated account that is just meant for post secondary educational expenses. But in 2018, President Trump and Congress worked out a refinement to the 529 plan option in that certain states that are participating in this new update allow for families to apply certain account payments and make certain withdrawals from 529 plans for K through 12 private school. So previously, prior to 2018, you could use a 529 plan educational expense account to pay for post secondary education, college, graduate school, professional training, professional licensure, or even if you wanted to take an approved or accredited, community education class for photography or for poetry or for yoga, all of those education expenses could be covered by a 529 plan. But since 2018, and you would have to check with your home state, or more specifically, the state for the plan that you have. So, for example, we live in Massachusetts, but for my children, when they were born in 2007 and 2009, respectively, we actually purchased the College Savings Iowa plan. We did a lot of research into different 529 education plans from all 50 states. And at the time, we were actually living in California. And we made the determination that College Savings Iowa was going to give us the best long range prospect. That was just a personal choice that we made. And we made that choice many years ago, and we've been very happy with it. This is not an endorsement or advertisement for College Savings Iowa. I'm just saying that we've been very satisfied customers, and we look forward to being satisfied customers in the future. But so if we were looking into the applicability of a plan potentially to pay for private school insurance or private school tuition for our K to 12 educational needs, we would have to look into the details of the College Savings Iowa plan and whether we could apply it for private school. But in many cases, many states now allow for up to $10,000 per year of educational expenses to be taken from a 529 educational account and applied toward K to 12 private school tuition. So that's a change in that the 529 education plan applies to formative schooling, K to 12, and also post secondary schooling. So, getting back to some qualified expenses, enrollment fees, tuition, room and board, qualified educational expenses that come up for students who have special needs, also computers, software, internet access, most types of educational equipment, even like scientific calculators and that sort of thing. All of those can apply when it comes to withdrawing 529 account money, or more specifically, dedicating 529 account money towards certain educational expenses. Now, some expenses that are not qualified that some people might think would apply but don't apply. So you cannot use 529 educational expenses for test preparation. You cannot use 529 educational expenses for travel expenses. So let's say your son or daughter, let's say you live in Minnesota but your son attends school in Texas, or you live in North Dakota but your daughter attends school in Washington State. The plane fare to and from campus, or to and from home for Christmas vacation or summer vacation, that technically 529 plan money cannot be used for that purpose. And In many cases, 529 money goes directly from the 529 fund to the institution of higher learning. So if you're paying, the University of North Carolina, Chapel Hill, the money would go to the bursar's office at UNC Chapel Hill. You, as the parent, wouldn't take a distribution and then write a check. Your college savings program would pay the bursar's office. Or if you're paying, the University of Nevada at Las Vegas, or if you're paying, Rollins College in Florida, or any number of schools. I'm just thinking of these schools because we were going over some of these particular options recently for a client. And when you think about the 529 education plan, even if your children are already 8, 10, 14 years old, there's still time to save because remember, the 529 education funds, your kid cannot spend that on a Corvette. Your child cannot day trade that away in the stock market. Like, so if you have any concerns about, you know, the maturity and the life choices with regard to how they handle finances, or even if you have a very socially responsible, fiscally responsible child moving into the early stages of teenhood and then early adulthood, you still want to make sure you have some funds dedicated for educational purposes. But the thing is, even if you're starting, like I had a friend who said, my son's 14, should I start now? And I said, well, your son is most likely going to college and he may eventually, in this case, in this young man's case, he may actually get a master's in business. So I'm thinking, okay, he's probably going to go to 4 years of college. He's probably going to go out in the workforce. Then maybe in his mid to late 20s, go back and get an MBA. He might at some point in his late 20s, early 30s be married or buy a home. And I'm thinking, you know what? Even if you use some of the 529 money for college and then some for graduate school, that would kind of take the edge off at a time when that student might really need the financial flexibility. So the to recap, 529 educational plans, in my belief, are beneficial. They help the student to know that you are contributing, and parents and grandparents and relatives can contribute to a student's account. And again, Johnny or Susie does not have direct access to the funds. The funds are paid directly to the institution of higher learning. So 529 education plans can help you save for future educational expenses. And you would want to check out your options. We will be happy to discuss any options with you with regard to specific choices that you might have. And we work with families that have children of a variety of age ranges. So we're happy to discuss those options with you if you would like. My name is Ernest Manelli, founder of My Action Plan for College. Please feel free to like this video, subscribe to our growing YouTube channel. We have many more educational videos to come. We hope you have a fabulous day, and thank you for listening.